Good morning, VI. You know, over 2.5 million visitors come to the U.S. Virgin Islands annually. Well, it makes sense, right? Because there's just so much to see and do here. Even so, on today's episode, the Good Morning VI team is going to take you into a whole new world of experiences in our tropical paradise. So stay tuned as we go under the sea, only on Good Morning VI.
Wake up, VI! It's time to tune in. Yeah. This is the day the Lord has made. Rejoice and be glad in it. Yeah. Hey! Good morning, VI. Good morning. Wake up. It's time to tune in. Good morning. This is the day the Lord has made. Good morning, VI. Good morning. Wake up. It's time to tune in.
Good morning, Virgin Islands, and good morning, Caribbean. This is Good Morning VI. It's the morning show for you to start your day right and walk through your day right. I'm Denise, and along with Lisandra and Doles, we aim to inform you and inspire you as we cover a variety of interesting topics important to our everyday lives and our community. Well, today is no different. Now, as you probably know, the world, the earth rather, about 70% of it is water and about 30% is land. So we land dwellers, only living on like 30% of the earth's surface. Yeah. But under the sea, there's a whole new world. Yeah. And the ecosystems and marine life, they actually have an important impact on our lifestyles on land. Well, on today's show, we are literally taking you on a dive under the Virgin Islands Sea on Good Morning VI, Under the Sea. Right,
Yes, we actually went on a scuba diving excursion.
That's right.
Yes, we all did.
I love the we.
we did.
No, we went. We all went.
We went.
We all went. Yes.
We did.
Yes.
With the University of the Virgin Islands Marine Science Center researchers. Yes, we had a wonderful time. And they do this on a regular basis.
All the time.
Yes, because they want to preserve our underwater ecosystems. So, they taught us a lot.
It was a great experience.
They did.
We had a great experience, right?
We did. Well, some people scuba dived, some people snorkeled, some people swam.
Yes, and some people
Some
stayed
people
on the boat.
slept, but it was great all round for
Yes, it
all
was.
parties involved.
That's right.
But today, and we're going to have one of the experts come and talk to us today. So
Yes.
we're going to learn all about our marine ecosystem and how to keep it safe and pristine and all of that.
Yes.
World under the sea. But before we get to all that, as you know, we always start every day right as we start our program with a prayer, a scripture, and a word of encouragement. And Lisandra translates from English to Spanish for our Spanish-speaking viewers. Father, in the name of Jesus, we thank and praise you for this new day and honor your awesome power and greatness as the creator of this earth and every living thing. We place our full trust in you with all our hearts, knowing that you care for us as we walk through our day in peace, joy, divine health, and healing. We thank you for that in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
Padre, te damos gracias y te alabamos por este nuevo día y le damos honra a tu increíble poder y grandeza como el creador de esta tierra y todo ser viviente. Ponemos nuestra confianza en ti con todos nuestros corazones, sabiendo que te preocupas por nosotros mientras caminamos a través de nuestro día en paz, alegría, salud divina y curación. Te agradecemos por eso, en nombre de nuestro Señor Jesucristo. Amén.
Amen. And our scripture today comes from the book of Genesis, and that is Genesis 1, chapter 1, verse 28. God blessed them and said to them, Be fruitful and increase in number. Fill the earth and subdue it. Rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky and over every living creature that moves on the ground.
Génesis capítulo 1, verso 28. Y los bendijo Dios con estas palabras. Reproduzcanse, multiplíquense y llenen la tierra, domínenla, sean los señores de los peces del mar, de las aves de los cielos y de todos los seres que reptan sobre la tierra.
And that moves us right into our word of encouragement for today. And our word of encouragement is, God made us stewards of the earth, including every living creature on land, in the sky, and in the sea. As stewards, we are to nurture, preserve, and protect the ecosystems in our environment from exploitation, pollution, and destruction. Caring and preserving our environment results in a healthier existence and quality of life for each and every one of us.
Yes.
And that's important. And there are a lot of people at our university that do really important work in preserving these ecosystems and in our community, as far as our environment and everything. You know,
Yeah,
sometimes
there's a balance that needs to be kept.
yeah, it has to be. And so, like, when you think about it, God created all this, that, you know, we should take care of it, right?
Yeah,
And
it's
be
an
really
issue
preserve it
concern.
for future generations because it is quite
Exactly.
a beautiful world under
It
there.
is beautiful.
Yeah.
Above
It's
and
worth
under.
saving.
Right. And under is what we're talking about when we get back on Good Morning VI, Under the Sea. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Lord has made. Rejoice and be glad. Wake up the eye. It's time to tune in. Yeah. This is the day.
Welcome back to Good Morning VI, where we're going under the sea. He laughs. Our guest is sitting next to me, and he started to laugh because we went under the sea, but we didn't all go under the sea.
I think you
right?
guys did wonderful.
But
Yeah,
we
we
did
did,
well,
we did.
right?
Always
We
keep
did
it at
well. We did well.
Yeah, you went out there. Yeah, we went out there.
For a first step,
For
that
a
was the first step.
Yeah. And we went out with our expert, Steve Prosterman, who has a wealth of experience in the marine world, right?
Yeah.
So you're the diving safety officer at the University of the Virgin Islands.
Correct.
And what does that mean?
Well, we have quite a multitude of diving that goes on at UVI, from beginning lessons, like I did with you folks, to very technical advanced diving that some of our researchers do.
And you're in charge of making sure everybody's safe when they're out there. They do it in
Right.
a safe way. Okay,
Yeah.
lovely. And also you operate a hyperbaric chamber.
Yeah, now that's at the hospital. That's a
that-
separate thing.
that's separate
But that's
from-
for people that dive and mess up.
Okay, so it's still a part of your
we don't wanna
diving,
talk about that.
your diving work. Now
Yeah.
you work out of the Center for Marine and Biological Sciences at the
Marine
University-
environmental studies, yeah.
Marine Environmental Studies
And- yeah.
at the University of the Virgin Islands.
Right.
What do you do at the what does the center do?
Well, the center itself, we do a lot of different research in a lot of different areas. We have some wonderful world-class researchers led by Dr. Tyler Smith, Dr. Marilyn Brandt, Dr. Rick Nemeth, Dr. Paul Jopsis. We have quite a few researchers that are very well known around the world in their field. And they do all kinds of studies.
I
They
mean,
do everything
so
from
give us an
looking-
example.
Well, they'll do everything from looking at the runoff around developed areas by putting little cups in the ocean and seeing how much silt gets into them each month, measuring that. We also do things like look at coral bleaching from the ocean warming of the world, and sometimes that makes the corals bleach, and there's some longitudinal, which means long-term studies on watching that and coral diseases and things like that. Also fish studies.
And this is important, right? Because we're a big tourist destination, and I mean that's one of our main attractions, right? People come out,
Oh
they
yeah,
snorkel,
yeah.
they
The
look
diving
at the coral.
industry, the water around us is probably the main attraction for people to come down here.
Right.
The sun and the water around us, and you know, we have a vested interest in trying to keep that as healthy as we can.
Yeah, not just for tourists, but also for us who live here, right?
For everything,
Why
yeah.
is that important?
Why is
Yeah.
it
Why is it
important?
important to have a healthy marine environment and to
Well, yeah, I
preserve-
think everybody understands that it's so important that we study this, that we need to know what's going on, first of all.
Right.
And we have to study it to see what's going on before we can make any types of recommendations. And at the university, researchers don't really make recommendations to lawmakers. That's really up to the lawmakers. Our job is really to study and then present data that we collect.
Okay.
That's the main
and
thing.
then the lawmakers and whoever else
Can
they
take
make
that
the decision.
information and
Yeah.
do certain
Right.
things. Now, I mean, you know, while we were out, we saw some beautiful marine life. Well, some
Yeah.
of us saw some beautiful marine life. I mean, what are some of the typical kinds of, you know, marine, you know, species that you see around here when you go under
Well,
the sea?
there is so much down there. When you're down underwater, almost everything around you is alive.
Oh, wow.
People would think,
So like
well,
the sea fans and all of those things
Yes,
that we
those
saw in our
ones are
pictures.
like the sea
they're
fans that are
alive?
flowing, that's actually a colony of coral polyps that
Oh,
group
okay.
together. And the corals,
What's the
so if we're looking at
That's a sea-
coral reefs and stuff, a coral reef is actually a group of animals. People think because it looks like a table or a rock,
right?
But
But
it's
it's
still
a
an
group of
animal.
animals.
they're actually animals.
It's a living creature.
Groups of animals, yeah. And yeah, it's just amazing that everything's alive. We call them live rocks sometimes because it looks like a rock, it doesn't move, so people think it's a rock. Or the sea fan, people think that's a plant because
they're beautiful.
it looks like it has root structures, but that's
Yes.
actually just gripping onto the bottom. But it's animals that actually filter out little bitty microscopic particles in the water for food.
Yes, Dr.
So-
Buckley explained that's how they eat. Yeah, they just
Wow.
filter out their food.
Yeah,
And
so-
these
Isn't
are
that
like
amazing?
pictures that we're looking at that from the UVI Center
Yeah,
for Marine
yes,
Science
these are some of our,
website.
and we have a
And to
graduate
show-
program now, a master's degree program that's been wonderful, and it's really added to our research capabilities to get these students working on their master's degree to be able to come in and help the main researchers, who I mentioned before, do a lot more projects. Plus, it gives them the opportunity to work with top-notch researchers in the world, and then go ahead and get their degree and move on to do other things.
That
Right,
close,
and,
that
and
close.
preserve that environment.
Yes.
Now, okay, so let's talk about getting under the sea.
Okay. And this is one of my favorite things to do, is teach people diving.
Okay.
So we
yes.
have most of our graduate students and researchers already come in as scuba divers.
Okay.
I'll sometimes advance their abilities and get them to further degrees in scuba diving so they can do the underwater research. But the beginners is probably my favorite thing to do, is teaching beginners how to dive.
And
Yes.
it's the center.
Yes.
And it's at the center. What is the name of the Marine Center? The
McLean
Center.
Marine Science
William P.
Center.
McLean.
Okay, and
Yeah.
is that the center under which your dive instruction?
Yeah, that's basically the name of our
happens?
building. And CMES is our department, Center for Marine
Okay.
and Environmental Studies. It's the
Okay.
department within the university that occupies that building.
And so, what
The-
role does the diving play in that then? Just
Well,
about-
the diving is a big part of the center because
Yeah.
we use
You gotta get
diving for
under there.
so many parts of our research and also teaching in the undergrad courses. And one of my big things has been to try to get more local people into the water and underwater.
Well,
The water
Steve,
is
on
such a-
that note, guess what? You did try to get 3 local people to dive the other day, and we're about to see some video of that diving
And it was a
lesson.
class.
So stay tuned to Good Morning VI as we continue to go under the sea.
Time to tune in. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is the day the Lord has made. Whoa, rejoice and be glad in it. Yeah. Wake up, VI. It's time to tune in. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is the day.
Good morning, VI. Welcome back. And we're here with Good Morning VI Under the Sea with Steve Prosterman from the University of the Virgin Islands. And we were here discussing our adventure, which all started with
Scuba diving class.
scuba diving safety class.
What does SCUBA stand for, real quick?
Scuba is self-contained underwater breathing apparatus.
Ooh, self-contained.
So it does stand for, every letter in it stands for something.
Yes.
That has to do with
Is it-
breathing, which was very important.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
breathing. Number one rule in diving is also kind of the number one rule in life. Always breathe.
Breathe.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it helps to breathe
Deep
slow
breaths.
and deep.
Slow and deep, yes.
Yeah.
And we did. And Steve was very good with us in the class, and we have a video with us learning a few of the very important tips of scuba diving
Before we went under.
before we went under. Yes.
Yeah, with teaching diving, or pretty much teaching anything, I think, basically what you're teaching is common sense.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
and what my job is to help you guys learn what common sense is while you're doing diving, as far as going
that's
underwater.
the scuba gear that.
Yeah, we were fitting the mask
the
on.
mask.
Yes.
Yes.
You do the mask and snorkel.
And most people don't understand, you don't use a strap. You want to put it on and suck in and see if it creates a good suction. If you feel air coming in, then that's most likely where water would come in.
And you know, I wanted to ask because I was under the impression before I went that the mask would just cover my entire face and I would just breathe and the mask would be there. Didn't we have those like in the old times or something?
Well, there are some
They have a whole
commercial
suit.
diving helmets
Yes.
that cover your whole head. And actually at Coral World, which has been a great help to the university always. Coral World, I want to give them a plug because they've always been very good and employ some of my ex-students that I've taught how to dive.
Oh, wow.
But they have a helmet diving thing where you walk around with that.
Okay.
That might be a
we'll,
good thing
we'll
to
do
try
that next
also.
time.
Now we're looking
That's
at
the
the-
backpack, right? With
Yeah.
the air.
Yeah.
The air
So the
from tank.
self-contained apparatus is that tank, really, that hangs in the back.
Exactly.
Basically.
Yes.
Yep.
And
The-
that's
well, the
the-
whole
The whole
system
thing.
together, the three
Okay.
parts, the scuba tank's what holds the air, the regulator's what you breathe on
That's
from the
what-
scuba
Regulator.
that's
tank,
what-
Yes,
you're
that's the
holding.
famous regulator.
and the BCD stands for buoyancy control device, and that's kind of that jacket or vest type thing that you put on that helps you adjust your buoyancy while you're underwater.
Yes, that's the
There it
button that
is.
you press. Yes.
Does it have some of the sound?
Yeah.
Yes, sound.
Okay, and that's
Yeah,
another
this is-
thing that I remember that as we go down, we really need to hold our breath. Well,
Well, there's a
Breathe-
number of
breathe
ways.
through your mouth.
Yeah, but you have to equalize the pressure as you go down. Water is very heavy compared to air. When we go inside of it as a medium, when we're going completely in it, it puts a lot of pressure on us, a lot of weight above us, which puts pressure all around us, and we have to equalize the air spaces. And it's kind of the same thing when you go up in an airplane, your ears pop.
Yeah.
And we call it popping
So
or
as you go down,
equalizing.
you have to
Pop,
pop.
your ears.
Right, so
You
it's very
equalize it,
important
yes.
to pop your ears or equalize your ears as you go down. And you do it right when your head goes under, and the whole way as you're going down, you want to continue to pop your ears so you can be comfortable.
Okay.
And it really
And it
makes
does
a-
work. No, it
Yeah,
works.
yeah,
It works.
you know what? The thing is, when you hear it, it's like it seems like so much you have to remember and think about
Yes,
and
to do.
But then when you're actually doing it, and I mean, you have to survive,
It
right?
becomes
You learn
natural.
to breathe.
Well, we're going to do it again on the beach with you ladies.
with
where
some-
it's really flat, calm, and we're going to stand and
We
we're
didn't
going to.
talk about what we didn't do yet, and you're already talking about what we
Okay,
did
okay.
next. But just to let our viewers know, Denise was the only one who really went under.
And Denise will be there to
That
help
was
next
great.
time since she's an expert now.
Oh, right.
Yes, but I snorkeled. I snorkeled and it was beautiful. It was
So
a
you
wonderful
saw the-
experience. So I saw what Denise saw. I just saw it from on top. And actually, I snorkeled with Dr. Buckley.
Dr.
who
Lori
was-
Buckley, who's a
Yes.
professor,
Yeah.
her main specialty is really ichthyology, which is the study of fish.
Oh, okay.
Some people
Okay.
joke and say it's real icky type of thing.
But she did, you know what? She brought
But
me
she's
some
brilliant-
beautiful
brilliant
marine
teacher.
life. And I don't know if we have any pictures, but you know, as we bring them up, she brought us some beautiful marine life. She brought us a sea star
Oh.
that actually looked like a spider.
yes,
And,
and it was creepy, crawly,
It-
like a
it was,
spider.
But it was
like
beautiful.
Well, that's
It
probably a
was.
brittle starfish.
yes,
Yes,
a brittle starfish.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
really
also a
cool.
snail. She also brought us a snail that had like little, like different orange and white colors. There
Oh,
it is.
there you go.
Isn't
Yeah, that's
that
called
beautiful?
that's a flamingo tongue. And that's
Oh.
actually the mantle that wraps around the shell, and when it feels a little threatened, it'll pull that mantle back inside the
Yeah,
mouth.
see, there's a sea star.
That's
Ew!
the
Oh!
brittle starfish.
Oh,
I heard Jalace let out a big scream
yes,
when
because,
that came
because
up.
I had it in my hand and it was just creepy crawling.
Yeah, we heard you underwater.
So you actually took it.
Oh, look. Oh, yeah. She can't look.
And they put the sound on. Creepy and crawling. Oh my God, take it.
Oh, that's great.
Okay, that's a sponge.
I believe that's a little sea cucumber.
Yes.
Ew, that thing is
Oh, no, that
alive.
might be a type of
Yes,
sponge.
it is. Yeah, it's a type of sponge. And then there was another one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what is that?
Yeah, it actually feels
They're
like
different
a
types of
sponge.
sponges,
Yeah.
and the different sponges have different textures to them depending on what type it is.
Yeah.
Some of them, there's one called a touch-me-not sponge, which
Good.
by the sound it can give it little stings. There's a couple things you got to be real careful of when you're underwater.
Yeah.
We have a lot of what's called fire coral.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's in the
Oh,
shallow water. It's
yeah.
kind of yellowish, brownish. Some people think it's red because the name is fire, but
It's
but
not?
it puts out a little sting if you rub up on a soft part of your skin. It's
Okay.
not terrible. But there's other things you got to be careful.
It was really beautiful,
Yeah.
just even looking from on top. And I'm sure Denise will have a lot to talk about
It's something
because she was
going
really
under.
much closer.
Beautiful.
But it was a wonderful experience. And you know what? We'll be right back with Good Morning VI Under the Sea. So stay tuned.
It's time to tune in. Yeah. This is the day the Lord has made. Whoa. Rejoice. Wake up, VI. It's time to tune in. Yeah. This is the day.
Welcome back to Good Morning VI as we are discussing our topic, Good Morning VI, Under the Sea, with our guest, Steve Prosterman. Steve Prosterman, who is a dive safety instructor at the University of Virgin Islands, and who took us, we were talking about the course, if you've seen previously, we went through a course, scuba diving course. We went on the boat. Delace got to touch some really nice sea animals. But now we continue with our dive, and you were saying that that's one of the things that you really enjoy in teaching that.
Now, what we did is called a discovery scuba dive. So it's a way to show people what real scuba diving is like without doing a full certification course, which is about 30 to 40 hours. Like I teach a whole semester on that at the college on getting certified. What you guys did was kind of an accelerated version of that too.
Okay.
And we're going to come back and do it again at the beach.
We will.
It's nice and calm. But it's called a discovery scuba dive, and it's really a good way to show people what it's like and get underwater and see a real scuba dive. And you have to stay shallow, and you stay right with the instructor that teaches you. So it's a really good, safe way to do it.
Right, and shallow meaning 30 feet deep, or
Yeah.
15 feet deep. How deep?
Well,
30
really
is
40 feet or shallower.
Yeah,
Is
okay.
considered
40
real
feet.
That's
shallow.
what we can say is shallow, but actually,
I was like, oh, shallow is
We
the
probably
beach.
got down to about 33 feet, which is 1 atmosphere or 2 atmospheres of pressure. The one on the surface and one.
okay, great. Well, let's see. We have video of when we started putting on the apparatus,
gear.
and
The
all the
gear.
gear and everything, and getting into the water on that boat. And we went out to, what is the name of the?
This is Flat Key, which is about a
Flat Key.
mile south of the airport.
On
it's
St. Thomas.
It's the closest place to St. Thomas, and it's an incredible classroom. It's just wonderful to be able to take students out there.
It is absolutely beautiful on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. It really
So
was.
there you're helping,
Shallow.
getting on all the gear.
Why is this in there?
See Delace put on
She
it.
did go.
I got
We'll see
fitted.
how much they show. Let's see.
Oh my God, I got outfitted.
There's a regulator, yes.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, that.
Now
And
that
she
thing-
jumps in.
That thing is kind of heavy
Yeah,
It is heavy.
it
on
is.
land, but then when you're in the water, you feel
It
nothing.
gets light.
Let air.
Yeah.
A little more? Okay. That's plenty.
Why?
Okay, stand up and then.
Why
I like how you can
walking
control
step
the
away.
air, and you press and you can control how much air up and down. That's good.
There you go.
That was a
There.
little step, but it worked fine. All right, look back here, dollies. You okay? You need to keep the regulator in your mouth.
Why is this the video? Why is that the video? But that's a good point, though. You do need to keep. That's how you breathe.
The regulator in your mouth, yeah.
Yes.
And that was my issue. I just couldn't keep the regulator in my mouth.
I didn't like that kind of breathing because you cannot breathe through your nose. You have to breathe through your mouth, and it has to
Yeah,
be
you got to get used to being a
And you have
mouth
to keep your
breather.
mouth
But isn't that the
closed.
same with snorkeling? When you snort, and it's not the same, but it's essentially you're snorkeling.
Yeah, with the
you
snorkeling,
have to
breathing
keep,
in and out
you have
through
to
your-
breathe
through the
in and out
snorkel
with your
tube,
mouth.
yeah.
Right. You
Yeah,
can still
but then
breathe
you know
through
what?
the
You can
snorkel
just
tube.
lift your head up
Yes.
when you're snorkeling.
Yes.
When you are underwater, you can imagine if the regulator comes out, you're
just-
30
you're
feet
panicked.
under. What do you
But
how
you
do
learned
come
what you
out?
do
All
when
you
the
have to do is
regulator
blow.
comes
You
out.
learn to turn it upside down so the water comes out,
And
and
you-
then
And then what do you do with your breathing?
No, you keep breathing.
you keep breathing. Oh no, you take a deep breath. You go, and then when you put it back in, you
can't take a deep
exhale.
breath. You
No,
blow it
no,
out.
keep
you-
breathing. You keep breathing.
You blow out
You
the
blow,
water. You
right.
just
Blow
blow
bubbles,
and
yeah.
put it back
blow
in.
bubbles, put it back
Blow
in,
bubbles,
and
put it
then
back in. It's
deep
really
breath.
that simple.
See, I wasn't there.
I would be panicking like,
No, Alexander, you won't, because you're going to continuously breathe slowly and you'll be
Well,
calm.
that's what we
It'll
do.
work
And
out.
in the beginning, we practice. We do drills for that. And basically, that's what lessons are all about. Is practicing what you do, how you take care of problems, and it's a lot easier to take care of problems underwater rather than coming up to the surface to deal with them.
Right,
And usually a lot safer too. And that's what the certification course is about. That's what the drills are about that we do before this dive that Denise did.
right.
So finally, we did go under, right, which was the most awesome experience. Now, having snorkeled all my life as a child growing up and everything, I mean, I was familiar with looking at the sea light from above.
Right.
But going under was just a whole different experience.
Yeah, you get
I
more
mean,
on their level
It's
and stay
yeah,
down with them,
it's
and that's
awesome.
really,
And I think
really, really
we
fun.
have some video of that.
of you under the water.
Under the sea. So
That's
this is
you?
when we went in.
No, that was our
No, that's-
Dr. Parr, Adam Parr, a math teacher, and his
there goes
daughter.
That's me there.
And there's Denise.
Wow,
Yeah.
look.
Live and in living
awesome.
color.
This is
I
what
love
you-
it.
And it's really so beautiful. And actually being there, it's even more colorful than on film,
Yes.
you know, on tape. But it's gorgeous, just, you know. And
Yeah.
it's almost like, you know, sometimes like when I would look in an aquarium,
Yeah.
you know.
It's like getting to go
it's
inside the
like,
aquarium.
Like being inside the aquarium. So
Yeah.
what is this, as far as the surface
looking
there,
at?
what are we looking at, Steve?
Well, there's a multitude of different corals. There's about 40 different coral types in the Caribbean. Out here we have quite a few of them. I think these are French grunts, these fish underneath this big coral head. And the fish use these corals as basically a home base, so it's a protective area for them to stay in.
Oh, okay.
Oh, look
What
at
I
you
thought was
calling the
great-
fish.
We're just running into a school of fish, and I was like, come, but they just ignored
Yeah,
me.
lots of, these are chromis. There's blue and brown chromis out there. There's Dr. Parr.
Digging the camera. Oh, you're having a grand time down there.
I
Look
was.
at you.
Awesome.
And there's Amika. It was her
Yeah.
first dive too. Dr. Parr's daughter. I think
Yes.
she's 15 years old. Was
15.
doing
She
her
dived
first,
with the- right.
first
She
was a
dive,
champ, yeah.
and she's kind of grown up on the sea and snorkeling and stuff. Same type of thing.
Yeah.
That's a little
did great.
deep. That's
Yeah,
a little deep to just dive in and
Yeah.
be like, oh. That,
But you know, at first it's a little, you know, just getting used to, okay, let me hold my nose, you know, thinking about that. But then after getting under, it was just so peaceful. And really going
Yeah.
under there, it's just so quiet, no
It
noise.
is.
I mean, those fish
Well,
have it good.
and-
And it's just another world. It is
Right.
it's a
another world.
whole new world.
And what happens on your first dive, you are nervous in the beginning because it's a new thing.
Yes.
But then by the end of it, like Denise, you were so relaxed and so
Yeah.
calm, and you can get into kind of the zen of scuba diving where
Right.
you really have the sounds are different. There's really no sounds that you're used to down there.
Exactly. It really brings
And-
like an appreciation for just the beautiful sea life that, you know,
Yeah.
God created. Well, we'll be right back as we continue with our experience under the sea.
Yeah, this is the day the Lord has made. Rejoice and be glad in it. Wake up the eye. It's time to tune in. Yeah. This is the day the Lord has
Welcome back to Good Morning VI, where we've been going under the sea with our diving safety officer, Steve Prosterman, who took some of us into the watery depths around the Virgin Islands.
All of us went.
We all went on the boat, but we didn't all end up in, well, yeah, varying levels of the water. Some were more shallow than others. So, Steve, tell us, what's unique about the marine life in this part of the world?
Well, in the tropical environments that run about 20 degrees north and south of the equator,
Okay.
are the only places where coral reefs can grow.
Oh,
and
wow.
during those, well, the main places, there's some, as you get further away from the equator, it gets less and less variety of types of reef. And the tropical fish, it's kind of the same thing. And the variety that we get in the tropics is just amazing compared to the rest of the ocean. The colors that you see, the different shapes and sizes and colors of fish.
Okay.
And here in the Atlantic Ocean, we have, like I said, about 40 different types of reef. In the Pacific, which is a much older ocean, they have over 400 types of corals.
wow.
So it's a lot more variety over there. And the same thing with the fish life.
Yeah, but
it's
it's
so much
far.
bigger of an ocean. It's very far.
But it's far
And
to
we're-
get there.
And
We're right
actually-
here.
we're part of the U.S., the United States, so we get a lot of people from the U.S. come down. We're probably one of the only parts of the United States that actually has true coral reefs. The southern part of Florida and Hawaii, of course, and then way over, what is it, the Fiji?
Oh, that's a lot. That's a long plane ride. So
But I know
right
that
here we have a lot of natural
In the
marine
American
beauty.
Samoa.
That's really
Yeah.
good for
Yeah.
teaching. I
That's
guess 'cause
totally
I've
different,
learned
yes.
that people from all over the country that come to University of the Virgin Islands
For the marine
to
science.
study the
'Cause it's-
marine biology,
'cause
right?
It's right
It's
here.
just-
Yeah, and with
Yeah.
some of our researchers, we partner with people with different universities that come down that want to study coral reefs. And it's really nice for somebody, say, from Woods Hole Institute to come down in February to the Virgin
And
Islands
there's-
rather
yeah.
than stay up there in, cold
What
Massachusetts.
do
and-
does studying the coral reefs teach us, though?
Yeah. What do we learn from this?
Yeah, what do we learn from studying the coral
Well,
reefs?
unfortunately, we're learning that a lot of them are having a tough time.
And how's that?
not
Because of what?
Well, there's a lot of reasons, a lot of stresses, like we talked about the temperature being a stressor, other types of diseases, even things such as, say, the Sahara dust haze comes over here, and we see how in the last couple of months it's been so hazy outside.
Right.
There's been studies to see how that affects the coral reef. That might be bringing viruses down that affect the reef and things like that.
You know, I once heard that even when tourists come and they put on sunscreen, even though you need sunscreen, right? And everybody needs sunscreen.
Yeah, sure.
But when you swim in the water, it dissolves in the water, and that also affects the coral as well.
It can on kind of in microclimate areas. I'm sure it can.
Okay.
But we also have studies like the Ciguatera fish poisoning
Yeah.
that's been going on for a long time, and that helps, because the fishermen don't want to sell fish that's not healthy to people.
Correct. Right.
And if anybody's ever had that, they don't want to deal with it again, I'm
Right.
sure.
We had a show on that, actually.
Yeah, I've never
Okay.
had fish poisoning, but from what I hear, it's
What is
can
it
really
that
be
people can do or not do just to make sure that our marine life and everything is preserved and maintained, it's health?
Well, I guess there's always those things about think globally, act locally, as far as pollution goes. People changing their oil in their cars, don't pour it out on the street or whatever. Take it to the proper recycling areas.
Because
And
ultimately
about
all
in
of
the
that washes
water-
down into the sea,
Everything
correct?
we,
Yeah.
We're such a small island. Everything we do
We're on-
goes down to the ocean and affects it.
Right.
That's one thing. It would be nice if we had real recycling here. But it's a tough thing to try to get going. I'm
because
sure it's
we're on an island,
expensive.
yes.
Yeah, being small and isolated. But
Yeah, and I think, beyond all of this, we always have to remember that the marine life, it's a living environment, right? It's not it's not a plant, it's not a rock. Like you said, it's an animal. It's a
Yeah.
living thing. And
And we have to also think that,
Yeah.
we
So
have
we
to
have to
keep
care
a
for it.
balance, right?
Yeah.
When, things don't go right in the sea, they're not going to go right on land either.
correct.
we've had we do other studies about the health of fish populations. Dr. Rick Nemeth's been doing long-term studies on different groupers. We used to have the Nassau groupers, one of the main fishing industry fishes here, and was basically hunted to almost extinction in our area.
Oh, my.
And presenting data makes it so managers can help manage the best things to do. And we realize you don't want to just have unlimited numbers of people to be able to catch. You have to put limits on in order to make it sustainable, and that's kind of one of the main ideas behind some of these studies.
Yeah, to present the data so that we can preserve what we have.
And you know, in the minute we have, I want us to go out with a video reminding us of what we need to preserve, right?
Okay.
So some more
Great.
video
It's
of
more of the diving.
the life under the sea that we need
Under
to
the
care
sea,
for.
yes.
Yeah.
And
Oh, gorgeous.
when you look at the
There's just so many
serenity
fish
under
out
there.
there.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that one. It has an eye.
Isn't that beautiful?
That's called a four-eyed butterfly fish, and that's a false eye near its tail to confuse its predators.
Okay.
So it's a little defense mechanism for it.
Ooh,
Even the
can you touch
texture
it?
of the various
Well, you really
kinds- I did
should
touch a
minimize the
number of them,
touching,
but
to be
not too
honest with
much.
you.
Right.
Did you touch
But
anything,
some
Denise?
of them I just took my finger and just like ran it along lightly, but I tried not to touch
You tickled some of them.
anything.
Oh, love
That's
it.
like
yes.
the okay sign.
Yeah,
Right,
and you know
right.
what? All
I'm okay.
is well under the sea.
Yes.
Listen, let's go out with this video and we come back. More of Under the Sea on Good Morning VI.
Rejoice and be glad in it. Yeah. Wake up the eye. It's time to tune in. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is the day the Lord has made.
Good morning, VI. Welcome back. And we're here with Steve Prosterman from the University of the Virgin Islands. And he is talking to us about being under the sea, the safety concerns that we have, and also, of course, about our excursion under the sea, even though Denise was the only one that went. Really under the
Denise's
sea.
excursion.
I was on the
But we all
surface,
went.
and Doles was also in the water. So we all went near the sea, on the surface, and
Enough.
under the sea.
Hey,
right?
different levels.
Right. And we had so much fun. And you know what? I wanted to just bring something up. When
What?
we were on the boat, when you were on the boat,
Yes.
we brought the Sea Star, right? Our director, and I had to call him out on this.
Who, Shalimar?
Yes, Shalimar. Shalimar did not want to touch the Sea Star.
Oh, he had a screaming moment too,
Yes,
did he?
did.
Oh!
Just that, you know what? He was taping.
So
he
we
couldn't.
didn't get to
That
see
was
him
his
going.
excuse anyway.
So I had to call him out on that. Anyway,
But even he went in the sea.
He got in the sea
And he went
after. When I got
snorkeling.
up, yeah. I got up.
he was snorkeling with me also.
He did snorkel, yeah.
Yeah, so we all had
So that-
lots of fun. And
Awesome.
it is just a totally different world, as you were saying.
It is, yeah.
And when you think about it, we live on an island
Why
with
don't
just
we do
all of
this
this around. We
more?
should
Yeah,
really
we should do this all the
that
time.
and see what's
Exactly.
under there.
That's why
It's
it's
a
been
part
one of
our
my
world.
goals to try to increase at least the percentage in my classes of the local kids, which we've done over the years. I started teaching a snorkeling and swimming class at UVI in the PE department, and the classes, my scuba classes, are now over half local kids, which is great.
Great.
Oh, that's
I
wonderful.
love
And
it.
it would
Really
be
big
great
thing to
even
try to
if
get
like
more.
We
in
should be doing it
high
also like
school.
in high school, right?
Yeah.
Even if
high school.
I don't even know if they offer marine biology. I don't now,
Well, there's a
but that
marine
would be
sciences
nice to
program
have
at
that.
one of the local high schools on St. Thomas.
Oh,
That I
excellent.
do know somebody has started a program. I don't know how
Yeah,
deep.
and at Eudora Ken, they started like a sailing program,
Right.
like
Okay,
a marine
wonderful.
industry type program, which is really a cool thing too.
Yeah.
Getting more people on the water, and it all starts with learning how to be safe, which is learning how to swim good,
Right.
and how to
Well,
be
that's
safe in the
super
water.
good.
Which with our pool out on the east end, that's a huge step in the right direction too.
Yeah, and because it's so vast, I think people are like, ooh. you
Yeah,
know,
the
but
ocean
it's
is
just like-
frightening, right? Yeah,
Yes,
it can
but, you know,
be.
but once you have more contact with it, once you go under,
It's
and you
I want to
swim
know how
more,
to swim
yes,
and
it's
get,
different.
Yeah, go swim
It is,
more.
it is.
Yeah, and I always say it's one of the funnest things you'll do, but you have to take your safety very seriously.
Yes, first of all.
Always
So,
first.
Right.
so you got to be safe if you're having fun, and you got to learn things the correct way, and just learning how to be safe in the water. Take care of yourself first before you try to help others. That's the
And
big
is that and that's a part of what you do as well, just general swimming
Oh, yeah.
safety and
Yeah.
how to be
Yeah, with
safe
the s-
around
snorkeling and
water.
swimming class through the PE department at UVI, you know, that's kind of, most of the people are beginners. We get some that just want to come take a PE class for fun that are already good in the water, but it's really geared towards the beginners to try to give them some swimming skills, survival skills in the water,
Right.
and then get them snorkeling, show them the fun stuff. And then from that, I'll get a few from each class that want to come learn to dive. They get really comfortable. And,
Now, are these classes free, or I mean, is it just
well, they're
open
part of
to
the
the public?
they're part
or?
of the university classes.
Okay, so we pay
They're
tuition.
not
So
free.
people can
Yeah,
go and
it's a
sign up
tuition
for
thing.
it.
And it is like a PE class, so you get PE credit for the snorkeling
Right,
and
right. For
scuba
that one you do,
class.
and you get marine science credit or biology credit for the scuba classes.
And you know what I think
wonderful.
is great? That when you become more aware of the environment under the sea, and because you're not seeing it, I think you get even more of an appreciation of wanting to care for it.
Yeah, I think you care for it more
Exactly.
when you see it.
Exactly. And while we were diving, I remember I turned around and I saw you go down and you picked up a can. It was a soda can.
Oh, yeah.
That someone
So
threw
far under?
on the ground. Yeah, and
They sink.
it was just so beautiful and pristine. And then here's this soda can. Someone decided to just
Yeah,
throw it.
whenever I see something,
Yeah.
I'll just stick it in my pocket.
Yeah.
I
Take
think
it
that's
up
still
with
in my pocket. I'll have to go throw it
might
in the
be.
garbage can.
Okay, but it's just that kind of
Clean up
care.
the
I think you'd
And
be more
it
in
makes you
tune with,
realize how
know,
could people throw something like that in here?
Yeah, when you
You know,
actually
it's,
see
it's
and
going to
become
be
aware.
part of the environment, and you don't want to have garbage thrown around, just like
Yeah,
on,
and we-
on
Yeah,
the-
you wouldn't
on the
put
surface.
garbage in your house
You
everywhere.
wouldn't,
right?
and
Why
you see that these
litter
are
the
living
ocean
things. Well, we
floor?
have more video on like
under the
trumpet
sea.
fish. I hope we have more of that trumpet fish, but we have more video that we can
It
look
looked
up
like an
under the
eel At
sea.
the beginning, there.
But it's right
Yeah,
there.
why
in
would you want to
front.
litter that? That
Those are all
is
the
so
chromas,
gorgeous.
yeah.
Tell us some of the things that can happen when litter or other things that don't belong under the sea. What happens to the ecosystem?
Oh, there's the scuba diver.
She's tickling. She's tickling something.
I
Whatever
was
it's
tickling
called.
the little, yeah,
She
what's
just
it
got
called?
close.
Yeah.
Those are some of the brown chromis, and we saw some pillar coral earlier. And then there's a lot of Montastria annularis, which is a small star coral.
A-okay.
There's the OK signal.
Yeah.
See the pillar coral,
Oh,
which is
that
sticking
one
up?
is sticking
Yeah.
up. Okay.
Okay. So Steve, tell us what happens when we throw stuff in the sea.
That kind of pollution.
Well, yeah, it creates garbage. Algae grows on it. Oh, here's our trumpet fish.
There he is. He
God.
was actually acting like he came around to see, hey, what's going
He
on.
was curious.
He came right in front of me and
He's a
just
camera
kind
hog.
of looked and was like, hey.
Wow.
Now, one thing that is interesting, though, is like shipwrecks. You're talking about garbage under the sea. The sea does kind of reclaim things.
Okay.
Shipwrecks become actually artificial reefs. And sometimes things are purposely put down so reef will grow on them. So
And then
basically,
it'll just join, it'll just.
yeah, the reef, we have a lot of
Regenerate.
shipwrecks around here, and the reef will basically grow on just about any bare substrate. That's how they get started. They
Wow.
come anchor and then they start growing, and over time, it's basically reclaimed by the ocean.
Wonderful. And you know what? We are out of time. As we continue with our Good Morning VI show, Under the Sea, so stay tuned.
The Lord has made. Rejoice and be glad in it. Wake up the eye. It's time to tune in. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is the day the Lord has made.
Welcome back to Good Morning VI Under the Sea. Well, we have to wrap up, but we want to thank you so much, Steve Prosterman, who has
thank
been
you.
our dive instructor, giving us that kind of experience of what is under the sea. And thank you so much. We learned so much, all of us.
Thank
and
you,
that
guys.
experience was awesome.
And I just need one more opportunity to get these two ladies in.
Under.
Yeah.
But I
Because
mean,
usually
Not in, but
it takes a
under.
little more time to get under to do that real dive, and we'll get that done.
Yes,
we
yes.
will.
We'll get it
We'll do
done.
delays.
And everybody
done.
should really learn, hey, this is a part of our world, right? So
Yeah.
It's where we
great to
live.
see. Exactly.
Yes.
It'd be great to see young people in schools actually studying.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
thank you
Try
so
to get
much
more
for
of our
the
local
research.
guys into it.
Yes, yes, yes.
And
So
gals.
It's great what the
Thanks.
university
We want
is
to see you
doing.
come back, yes.
Yes, thanks again. So, well, of course, now it's time for our assignment. It's all about the environment that God created. Our assignment: add at least one thing to your routine that can add to increase your knowledge of preserving or protecting our natural marine environment and coastal waters. So think about what you can do. I think it has to do with food you can feed the fish or something. You can even be careful what you throw in there, even avoiding, thinking about what can run off into the sea.
Yeah.
And our confession is, I am a good steward of God's creations as I consciously care and preserve the health of our environment. And it's important. Well,
Great.
and you got to care about your environment, and that is the environment above and under the sea, right? That's very important.
In a little bit, right? No, thanks.
Yes.
Yeah, what you see, learning about it is the first step, really.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, just learn, even if you don't ever go under there, just know about it and care about it and know what's there.
Yeah.
You can go under a coral world and walk under in their underwater tower,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
It's great education out there.
That's right. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you again on the next episode of Good Morning, VI.
Rejoice and be glad.